Welcome to Laurie's Kitchen. We're in for another installment this morning. Remember that the Houston Food Bank needs our support more than ever right now. So if you have enjoyed the show, or even if you haven't, make a contribution to the Houston Food Bank or your local food bank for all of my fans from all over the world. I want to make sure that we do some sort of giving back. I am feeling exceptionally great this morning. We have lots of sunshine. We have been very grateful in Houston this spring. We've had some hot weather, we've had a little bit of rain, but overall we've had a ton of sunshine. It makes it so much simpler to walk around my neighborhood and work in my yard. So my true first love is my flowers. We always take a shot of those. I got these flowers from my daughter-in-law last week. She raced into Walmart, I think for a pair of shoes, and came out and grabbed these flowers and put them at my doorstep. So I was very happy to get those. I always love flowers. I guess it's about time for them to go. I always love flowers, especially ones I can just put in a beautiful vase like this one. And this came from Whitney quite a while ago, I think as a thank you for something. Today, my first and foremost shout out is to Bob, Whitney's husband. Whitney is my vegetarian friend, but Bob is my not vegetarian friend who happens to really love my sausage, biscuits, and gravy. So I pulled a Food Network stunt. I already have cooked up most of the sausage, but if you'll come with me, I'm going to show you how to make this gravy. I have figured out from my several experiences doing this, I get a little bit out of sorts when nothing cooks fast enough. I don't realize in real life you're cooking and you're chopping and you're doing different things all at the same time. But when I am trying to teach something on TV, I can't run around the kitchen like a whirling dervish. I've got to settle myself down. I have to actually do the task at hand. My family will tell you that I like to multitask, but I've got to tell you that I'm not great at it and I'll forget half the stuff I'm doing. So for this, I have to focus. What I have done is I took one sausage, H-E-B, plain old regular. The H-E-B sausage is a little tiny bit spicier even though it says regular. And if you'll look in this pan, this is my trusty iron skillet. I didn't drain one speck of grease off of this. Nothing. You see this little tiny itty bitty amount of grease? That is nothing. When you're eating a hamburger, you're cooking hamburgers and you see the grease that comes off, just look at this little tiny speck. Alright, so I always say when I'm fixing unhealthy comfort food for these trying times, well, this is still pretty unhealthy. Wait till you see what happens next. Alright, so I've put it on kind of a medium, not too high, you can hear it sizzle, but not like blast. Alright, now I'm going to do something you will not like. I'm going to not measure, I'm going to just look at this, and I'm going to put a bunch of flour in here. And I'm going to, this is the key, alright, I'm going to stir this around because what you want to do is brown up this flour so it doesn't taste floury. And you see how it's coating this little excess sausage. You saw that I had already cooked the rest of that sausage. I saved a piece because maybe other people don't do it this way, but I like my sausage gravy to have sausage in it. Some people will make sausage gravy and it will be just as beautiful and slick and not lumpy at all, but I happen to like sausage in mine. Alright, so this is all browned up. I'm going to add a tiny speck more. This may be a mistake, I do not know. But as you're adding flour, you're thinking about the fact you want it to thicken up. Alright, so in a second I'm going to, it's a pretty good temperature. I'm going to grab the milk. Sometimes I use cream, sometimes if I had it, sometimes half and half. I'm saving the half and half for somebody else's coffee, so I'm going to use this plain old milk today. I like this one, Horizon Organic. I get it, of course, at H-E-B. But the due date on it is like way down the road in June, which I don't even look to June. I'm still day to day. This milk lasts quite a while. All right, here we go. Little screw top. And just start pouring. And that's where you get yourself in trouble. That's about the right amount. All right, I hate to do this to you, my loyal fans. You know I don't measure. Here I am with this. And what I'm going to do right now is just start stirring. And at some point I will become impatient and I will crank up the heat on this. But that hasn't happened yet. So when Bob comes over, in the old days Bob just brought Bob. But nowadays when he comes over, he brings Liliana. She used to be, I can't say she still is, but she used to be the kind of eater that you could just put it in front of her and she'd eat it. Now I don't know if she's getting pickier as she gets older, but that is kind of a phase that little people go through. But I was very proud because she has parents that like very unusual, different kinds of foods. So I'm really happy that she was, it seemed like she went through a green phase of eating, you know, avocados all over the place. I don't know about this sausage gravy, whether she cooked for it or not. All right. I'm channeling Sandra Lee this morning. Sandra Lee was the queen of the almost homemade. I'm not even sure that's the name of it, but I loved her show because I am almost homemade. I kind of do a little of this. By the way, you have to really stir and start cranking up the heat. I use these biscuits. I use these biscuits. These are Southern style. I use these biscuits because my biscuits taste like rocks. I try, but remember, patience isn't my virtue. And I fold and fold and fold and then stomp it out and all of that, and they come out like hockey pucks. No, go here, frozen section. Don't get the can that you bash on the counter and the biscuits explode. Get these. They're awesome. They come 12 to a pack or 24. You'll find them in your freezer section. You will never regret this decision. All right, so there they are. You can take out 2 at a time if you want. All right, so now, here we are. We're going to stir. And we're going to stir, and we're going to crank this up. This is always the paralyzing part of every episode because I'm constantly stirring something, waiting for it to thicken, cook up, something. And I don't have a lot of control. But you can see it's still pretty liquidy. We're going to crank it up.
I think she has that later.
It's so funny. My daughter asked me today, did you turn off the AC? Yes, I turned off the AC because once the AC goes, this gas is all over the place and it doesn't heat quite as fast. Did you let the dog out and back in? Yes, I let the dog out and back in. That's a producer in the family. If you think she just started producing in the last few weeks, you are very wrong. She's been producing it for a long time. Did you do this? Did you fix that? Yes, I did. All right, now, as I'm doing this, I don't know if your eye can see what I'm doing, but I can see that it's starting to thicken. It loves a nice high heat, but you don't want anything burning. You just want a nice high heat. And you can see it's starting to thicken. It may be wishful thinking, to be honest with you, but here it is. This is not the easiest thing to do on live TV because every time you do it, it's a little bit different. But I can feel it with my, get this, brand new spatula that I got of course I got it from Amazon. 2-day delivery. And you know, now they're kind of tricking you at Amazon and telling you we just don't know when it's going to arrive. So surprise, surprise, here it is. All right, do you see that it's bubbling? That is what you want to see. Now I'm going to turn it back down ever so slightly. Do you see how it's thickening? Now remember what it looked like? You see how it's beginning to get thick? It's not quite there. And it smells fantastic. You know what? It smells fantastic because it actually is. It's this thing that you just go back and you think about especially if you're a Southern girl, you think about your childhood. You go to Dalhart, Texas. You're driving through town. Let's stop and eat breakfast. What a great idea. We walked into Dalhart, Texas, beautiful itty bitty little country kitchen. You aren't going to believe this. We order breakfast, and as a side, you're not even paying for it. As a side, out comes the biscuit and gravy. And I mean a biscuit, when you see mine, you'll know. A biscuit that looked like this high, and you open it up and it's steaming hot, and here comes the gravy to go with it. And it's just all part of the fun in Dalhart, Texas. So that was kind of a standing joke. Yeah, I'll go to West Texas with you if you'll just take me to Dalhart. All right, you see how it's thickening? You see how it's bubbling? Doesn't this remind you of Grandma's kitchen? Well, that's because it is Grandma's kitchen. Speaking of which, I have seen my grandchildren. They are so happy, and I am so happy for them. Their parents did a really smart thing. They really focused on their health and happiness. What can we do to make this a better time for them? All right, cameraman, bring your camera over here because we've got gravy. You see how it was? And now it's just thickening up so nicely. I don't want it overly thick. I'll advertise these too. Get a load of this with a light. All right, there's some salt. I don't put a lot of salt or pepper in mine because I'm always scared that. Okay, there you go. Salt and pepper. All right, through the magic of television, here's another thing you aren't going to believe. I'm going to turn this off using this, y'all. You have to have a little silicone thing, even though with it it's kind of warm. Get this, just try not to spill it. I'm going to take it off the burner completely because I'm going to tell you something about gravy. It's perfect and then it's not. And at some point along the way, it will become glue. All right, follow me over here. Get the hell out of my kitchen. Everybody knows I have a kitchen the size of a matchbox. Nobody gets to be in it. And I'm pretending this is hot because they're already cooked. Food Network, here I come. This is what your biscuits will look like if you use Grand's Southern Style biscuits. There they are. I mean, it just can't get any better than that. All right, I'm going to let this cool for a second. Sandra Lee always did this thing with these tablescapes. All along I'm thinking, tablescape, what is this thing? Come on, I'm going to show you. When you live in a house as little as mine, this is your only decorating opportunity. By now you ought to know, I love a good flower. This is my springtime collection. I am not kidding about this. I am very serious about my tablescape. I found this gorgeous arrangement, peonies, the whole shebang, at Cornelius. Now I didn't pay full price. Who would pay full price for this thing? 90% off. I hauled it out of there. I put it on this table. I never looked back. The only problem is if you had 4 people sitting here, nobody can see each other, but that's Sandra Lee's problem. That's not mine. So I got this, and I got this. I can have a soup or a salad, and I can have I always like to eat off of little plates. And I think everybody else ought to too, so I've kind of convinced everybody to do this. If you eat off of little plates, there's just so much you can stuff on the plate. All right, I'm going to take you back in the kitchen. I'm going to show you how this is going to turn out. I have a plate. In fact, I'll do what I do. Here is the made sausage. All right, I'm going to put a little beef sausage right there. I don't have to really pretend the biscuits aren't that hot. But right here is a biscuit. I'm going to open up. I mean, it's still steamy on the inside. It's right there. And then, folks, the whole thing that makes it so decadent. But why not on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning? Just slather it on there. And you have a memorable breakfast. You also have a memorable weekend starting out. I hope you have sunshine today in your life just like I do. Thanks. Remember the Houston Food Bank.